All right, my name is Scott Carlson. I am a neuropathy survivor, I guess you could say. I was 36 actually when it started happening to me. I've been dealing with a back injury for about 10 years now, and of course you're always at the point where you're like, well, I'm not getting any better, but I probably won't get any worse. Anyways, I remember the day it started. January 13th of 2018 was the first day where I went and I laid down on the couch after I think we were moving some things into the house. And I laid down on the couch, and all of a sudden my left foot started burning for the first time ever. And I was thinking, well, what is this? And of course I was like, oh, I've got a back injury. It's probably that. And so of course we started doing all sorts of testing. I was down in Washington at the time. Dr. Carlson is my father. Super grateful for that connection because it honestly saved my life. So I started having neuropathy spreading from my left foot to my right foot, and then it went from my feet to my hands. I know it's a little different story than most of you guys. Most of you are probably diabetic neuropathy or something like that. Good news is, if it can work for me, it totally works for all you guys. I've met probably 50 or 60 other neuropathy patients that have just really their whole life has been turned around, and same thing with me. Just was on a journey. Saw the top neurologists all the way in Portland. They were it was the best neurologist group for neuropathy in all the Northwest. And so of course I'm like, okay, they've got to be able to help me. And of course we do all sorts of testing. The neurologist was really nice, but basically was just a grief counselor because they don't know what to do with neuropathy. And so after doing all this testing, I ended up having to educate him that the EMGs and nerve conduction velocity tests don't ever test positive for small fiber peripheral neuropathy, which is what almost all diabetics have, and 50% or 60% of all neuropathy patients are small fiber peripheral neuropathy. And so, because at first he's like, I don't think you have neuropathy, and then I said, well, wait a minute, don't these things only test for that? And he's like, oh yeah, that's right. He's like, no, you do have small fiber peripheral neuropathy. So what I took from that was, no one has a freaking clue when it comes to neuropathy. And they're good people, but the whole system is set up wrong for people with neuropathy. And we're left to die. I couldn't sleep till 5 in the morning. I was burning so bad, just like you guys, I'm sure, like when you lay down, you can't have anything touch your feet. It was horrible. It was horrifying. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. If I did, I was just in intense pain all the time. And then you don't get any rest when you lay down because then it starts flaring up. So and I know you're feeling, because that's what I felt. Just horrified. So thankfully my dad, even though he was in Alaska at the time, he was the only one that spent enough time trying to figure this stuff out with me. And so with his help and a few other really great doctors' help, we finally started creating this way of treatment that totally saved my life. And taking the best from many people, taking the best from everybody. There's a few people doing a few good things here and a few good things there, but not any one of those things is really just enough to just turn everything around for me. And I think also one thing that's been fantastic is Dr. Carlson. There's chiropractors, there's other people that are treating neuropathy, and they do some modalities that help. And honestly, there's not very many conventional docs that know anything about this stuff. So power to you chiropractors that even do that. But no one was going after the cause of my disease except for my dad. And that's what Dr. Carlson does. And so, he wanted to help me figure out what it is. So not only can we help with the symptoms, but if we can actually go both ways, it was fantastic. So for me, he found out it was mast cell activation was really ramping everything up. And it gave me that edge on top of the neuropathy circuit, which I think has been, I know it's been life-changing for me. I still do some of the home modalities just to maintain, but I have my life back. I'm so thrilled. Honestly, this program that Dr. Carlson has created, and he's had some fantastic help with the owners of this company, of this clinic. It is revolutionary. It's something that will save your life. I wasn't a believer at first. I'm like, oh great, this is gonna be one other thing that I'm gonna spend money on, never gonna work. But it does work. And I literally sat by so many people. Most of them were a lot older than me. I think I was the youngest patient by far. But there were, I'd see an 80-year-old and he'd be saying, I haven't felt my feet in over 10 years. And now I can feel everything and it doesn't hurt. And I can do so many things. Modality for a lot of those guys was just huge, and they could actually move around and of course a lot of people very much like me couldn't sleep at night. And so anyways, super excited that they're actually taking this as a program to bring to you guys, because it saved my life. I'm doing things with my family I couldn't do before. We went to Universal Studios and Disney. I was able to spend the whole day doing that, whereas like 5 minutes and I'm out. And not even just out, I am now burning for the next 2 or 3 days because I pushed it too far. So you can have your life back. There are answers. You're probably not going to find them in the conventional path, because all they're going to give you is gabapentin or Lyrica, or Celebrex, which causes its own neurological issues. So the truth is, total dead end roads. There are better answers, and so I hope you find them here.